Assalamu alaikum, good evening, everyone, and welcome to 1 minute collocations. And this is video number 8, lesson number 8. And today we're talking about news, we're talking about headlines. So let's see what I have for you. Now, these are the collocations that I have for you today. Some of them are easy and don't really need any definition or anything. And some of them kind of average and they need definitions, so I wrote definitions down for you. So the first one is Prime Minister calls April election. So remember, this is a headline in the newspaper, so it doesn't have to be grammatically correct. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence or anything. So Prime Minister calls April election means the Prime Minister officially announces that an election will take place in April. Minister resigns from office. That's obvious. A minister will leave his job. Now, party, you remember political parties? Party secures slim majority. I know that you know the word slim in a different context when you're talking about people's appearance. But here we're talking about, majority in the parliament and so on. So party secures slim majority. This is actually a collocation. Collocations are actually bold-faced. So calls election, resign from office, secure slim majority. And islands declare independence. Declare independence. That one is familiar a bit. Government humiliating defeat. Humiliating, like when you defeat somebody. And that's humiliating for them. They feel ashamed. And party presents show of unity. Present show of unity is to appear in public and say, we are united, there are no problems in the party. Unpopular regime toppled. Now, Egyptians will know this and many other Arab countries. So this is actually journalistic. It's used in writing journals and all. So made to fall, when a regime is toppled, is like a dictator or a president or whatever is made to leave his office, his job. Now, left, like a political party, left proclaims victory. And that's to make an official declaration, announcement that you won in like elections or something. And the last one that we have, well, the last two actually, army seizes power. Seize power is like to become in charge. So the army in that country became in charge of running the country. And the last one is president delivers key speech. So deliver speech. So let's go over them real quick again. So call election, resign from office, secure slim majority, declare independence, humiliating defeat, present show of unity, regime toppled, proclaim victory, seize power, and deliver key speech. So hopefully, so far so good. Let me take a look at Facebook and see if everybody are there following. Do you have any questions, guys? Shall we move on? I have an activity for you today. We're going to do an activity. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. We will listen to these examples being used in these collocations being used in real life examples. Now, they will not be 100% what you have read now. Some of the words will not be there, but still they deliver the same meaning. So, okay, let's get going. Let's see what I have.
Fell on the U.S.
Could you hear that? Yes?
Yes.
All right, great.
Fell on the U.S. Senate to call the election. Thankfully, they didn't appoint any.
Nixon said it, and yet he was forced to resign from office. His successor even pardoned him.
September 2015, Spain's Catalonia saw pro-independence parties secure a majority in the regional elections. This is big.
And he also did not declare independence from France. So that's an important point, too. He was.
Fast forward to the end of the 19th century. Greece suffers a humiliating defeat in the Greco-Turkish War of 1897.
This was a really remarkable show of unity, of purpose, of commitment to
Egypt being a particularly interesting example. After the regime was toppled, it wasn't so clear that there was common agreement about what should happen next.
A guy named Phidippides, who ran the 26 miles from a battlefield near Marathon, Greece, into Athens to proclaim the news about a momentous victory over the Persians. And when he arrived at the emperor's,
Hitler was not elected to office, and he did not have to seize power. He was offered a deal, just as the Nazis started to lose votes.
Ted waited more than a year to deliver his first speech on the Senate floor.
I guess Barack Obama is so lucky to be in our show daily. Every time I show you some real life examples, Barack Obama is there. Anyway, so forget about Barack Obama and those people. So those were these were the collocations that I have for you today, and I have a short exercise here for you. Now, let me see. You wrote something, guys. Sorry, I didn't notice it. All right. Yeah, so I have these here for you. I put them here. And these are things that happened in different countries. And now we want to put a title for these. Like, we are journalists, and these are things that happened, and we want to put titles for these incidents. Now, we're lucky because we don't have to come up with the titles off the top of our heads. We will, choose the titles from here. Now, one thing is, within these, there are a couple of collocations that I will, share with you as well. All right. So, again, we will match these 8 to the titles here, right? We'll match these incidents to the titles here. And then, when I answer this with you, then I will give you a couple more collocations. All right, so let's see the first one. A military, how do we pronounce this, guys? It's coup without the P. So a military coup has taken place in the island kingdom of, so let's be safe and we say Grameria, and the country's popular monarch now faces exile. Now face exile is like he has to leave the country and go and spend the rest of his life in another country. Military coup, I'm pretty sure that you know this. And okay, so which one? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H,
G.
I, J. Okay, J.
G.
So
Yeah.
G. Unpopular.
G,
Unpopular
G
regime toppled. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How about I? Army seizes power, because here we said a military coup.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So by mentioning military coup, saying that there is no democracy in this country, not to say that democracy is a good thing or a bad thing, but there is no democracy in this country. The army is ruling now. So it is army seizes power. That's the one.
But I think it has the same meaning as the regime toppled.
Not necessarily, because you can topple the regime and then you get an elected government.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking about the coup here. And again, guys, it's coup. It's not coup. All right. In last night's vote, the government's new education bill was rejected. Now, bill is not really a law. A bill is a plan to put law in place, and you take this plan and you give it to the parliament to pass it. So that's called a bill. So it was rejected. So the parliament said no. So in last night's vote, the government's new education bill was rejected. So which one is it?
Let's say E.
E. Yes, very good. So it's E. This one. Government's humiliating defeat.
Defeat, yeah.
Exactly. Now, Paul, depending on which part of the world you come from, Paul Cox, minister in charge of public finance, has decided that he wishes to spend more time with his family. What does that mean? He wants to
resign from office.
Yeah, very good. Minister resigns from office. Now, previous rift between rival ministers would appear to have been healed. Now, I want you to take notice of this. If you're writing or anything, or if you can make a, if you can remember it, heal a rift. This is a very good collocation. Heal a rift is like two parties are disagreeing, or two people are disagreeing, and now they make it up
to come to an agreement.
to come to an agreement, exactly, to have a good harmonious relationship, to reestablish it. So previous rifts between rival is like they are competing, they're vying for something. Rival ministers would appear to have been healed. Which one do you think it is?
So party presents show of unity.
Yes, party presents show of unity. That would be F. Very good, thank you. And the conservatives, conservatives is like a party, and the conservatives,
the right party.
Yeah, the conservatives have succeeded in gaining 200 of the 390 seats. So you can imagine, 390 seats.
A slim majority.
Yes.
Yeah.
They won.
Party secures.
Yes, they secured slim majority. That would be C. And the next one, the country will now be going to the polls somewhat, and this is how we pronounce it, guys, polls, somewhat earlier than anticipated. So take notice of this as well. Go to polls means to take part in elections. Take part in elections. So now the country, yes. Go ahead.
Is it different from by saying going to the polls or going to the ballot box?
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, but you're referring to the box itself. Okay, so here, which one is it?
Yes, I think Prime Minister calls April elections.
So it's A. Prime Minister, PM calls April election. Good job, good job, good job. We're getting there, we're getting there. Class about to finish. Now, widespread and well orchestrated. Now, like from orchestra, guys. Widespread and well orchestrated rebellions have achieved their aim to overthrow, or their aim of overthrowing the country's dictator. Oh,
that's toppled. Yeah, that's regime toppled.
Unpopular regime toppled. Now, overthrow is the same thing as topple, or remove from office. So it's G. And the last one, the country has voted that it no longer wishes to be ruled by its 19th century colonizer.
Yeah, that's declare independence.
Yes, and it's that's declaring independence. So that's all what I have for you today. And next time on Monday, same time, 9 o'clock Mecca time, we will continue talking about news. And next time, actually, we will talk about news reports. It's going to be a little bit more difficult than this. And don't forget, every week, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 9 o'clock Mecca time, I teach grammar, I teach idioms, and I teach collocations. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, leave a comment, and give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much for being with me, Shaima and Ali. And thank you very much, everybody on Facebook, for watching. These are my accounts everywhere on social media platforms. And enjoy your evening. Assalamu alaikum. Goodbye.
Salam.